Here is a lovely invitation to bring the beauty of fall inside and on your wall. With a few simple painting techniques, a few basic supplies, you can paint fall florals that will last far beyond the season. My next guest is here to share a watercolor process she calls both therapeutic and addicting. Shelly Cluff is joining me to fill us in on this creative outlet. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, I'm excited.
Your work is lovely. It's so inspiring just to look and see, but the promise here is that you say we can do too.
Yes, so I have people that come to my classes all the time that come scared and they leave happy and they're total beginners, and I love watercolor for that. It's such an easy medium to just pick up and play with and create something pretty without a ton of skill or effort.
So for the beginner, watercolor is our friend.
Yes, I believe so anyway.
You create full florals, but you say it's best to start with a focal flower.
Yes, so whenever I'm painting an arrangement like this one that you see here, I like to start with a focal flower to sort of anchor my arrangement.
Your star.
Yes, this is the star of my show. And so I will start with a couple simple brush strokes. So there's one that I use called scumbling, which is like a little texture making.
Scumbling?
Yes, so you know how the sunflower, the center of it is all scratchy. That's where the sunflower seeds are, and it's kind of scratchy looking. So scumbling creates this texture that helps it get that scratchy
feel. It sounds like
feel.
a Harry Potter spell to me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
But it's about depth, it's about texture?
It's about depth. So you're leaving out little bits of white space and creating little textured marks. And that's kind of the center of a sunflower that we're creating.
And the center of a lot of flowers, if you think about it. There's blooms that have that base.
Yes, so I use this on the center of tons of anything that's got that textured center.
You scrumble all the time.
Exactly.
Is that a verb? Scrumble.
Scumble.
Oh, sorry, scumble.
Get it right.
Okay,
Scrumbling might be the Harry Potter spell.
There you go. That's when we're waving wands around.
Yes. So once I've got kind of a scumbled center of my sunflower here, then I can go in and do some simple brush strokes to make the petals. So the sunflower petal is basically a football shape.
Oh, sure.
So you just sort of bring the petals out.
And I've heard artists reference that, basic shapes as you're building.
Yes, absolutely. And so a lot of painting is sort of putting a little puzzle together, and we just do one piece at a time, and eventually you have a whole puzzle that's put together. But each piece of the puzzle is not that intimidating.
If you break it down that way and look at it through that simplified lens. What would you tell us or teach us about the water to paint ratio when it comes to watercolor?
So with watercolor, sometimes it's hard for beginners. I see this a lot where they want to make their paint super thick because they're used to painting in like an acrylic paint.
And we want color, right? We want saturation.
So yes, it's satisfying to have the saturation, but watercolor needs water in order for it to work properly. And so when we're using watercolor, if you don't have enough water with the paint sort of sticks on the paper and it won't move around. You also miss out on some of that pretty translucency that you get with watercolor. So with watercolor, if you want layers, yes, you have to start really light and then you can build on top of it. And that way you can see sort of the dimension. If you paint too thick to begin with, then you are going to have a pretty flat painting at the end.
So start light and build. And did I see you doing the outline first? Is that true form for any shape or flower?
So I actually love to do the outline after. So it keeps my whole painting process sort of loose and playful.
Okay.
So I have, like, this is one that I created the other day so that I'd have a dry one.
And just me in my humble talent and glory. No, you are. This is lovely. This is so pretty.
So I love adding pen. I don't do it on all my paintings, but it adds a really cool dimension. I'll just kind of take it and loosely trace over the shapes that I've already created.
How many different yellows? Sorry to detract from shaping, but how many different yellows would you say went into this flower?
It's really only two. So there's a yellow layer and then an orangey layer on top of it, and then it grabbed a little of the brown as we were painting. So kind of like as I started to do here, that brown sort of leaks and scumbling. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. But you were mad about it because it added to the Mother Nature imperfection of
And with watercolor, it's like let it do its thing and you'll get some happy surprises from it.
So shapes first and then trace.
Yes, exactly. That's how I like to do it. And this is, my students call this the magic pen when we use it at a workshop. They add it to their painting and suddenly they love it.
They're like, this is it. This made it pop, it framed it, it did everything it was supposed to do.
Exactly.
What other flowers? The sunflower may be a good beginner one to try. Any other blooms that your beginners like to pick up?
So this arrangement here, I have sunflowers, and then I call this my 5-petaled flower. It's a super basic flower shape that I do. You kind of start with just 5 little marks, and then you can turn it into petals. And I have little tutorials that I teach. I have YouTube channels and classes around here. And so you can walk through and just pick those complementary colors.
Oh, the blueberries, so fun.
Exactly. And they're all just simple little puzzle pieces, but you put them together.
Tell me the poinsettia as part of your curriculum.
Yes, so the poinsettia, it is, I actually just did a YouTube tutorial the other day where we were learning how to make bulk Christmas cards. I had people that wanted to learn how to take do minimal painting and make a bunch of Christmas cards. So we did like a row of poinsettias and then chopped it in 4, and made little Christmas cards. This is a class I'm teaching in Riverton in a little while, where we're going to print Christmas florals. And poinsettias, they look scary, but my students have so much success with them.
Where can we get more information about your classes?
Yeah, so you can find me at shellycluff.com or on Instagram at shellycluff_art.
Okay.
And find all my classes linked there.
We'll link you both from our website to both from our website. Thank you.
Yes,
You're so talented. You really are. And thank you for making it doable and approachable for us beginners.